Okay, so this is my attempt at a tutorial for this drawing. So I'm going to start by, making a quarter of this. Then I'm going to mirror it twice, and that should give me the correct answer. So it is 85 by 50. And I can add this 18mm. I can now add the wall thickness, which is 5mm, with the offset tool. So if I offset in 5, I now need to close up these two edges. So I'm going to do that with a rectangle. A line would work just as well, in fact better. I'm going to select all of these and extrude them up by 5mm. Now I'm going to select the outer edge and extrude that up by, how tall is that? 23.6. Okay, now you can see there's a bevel here, which is a radius of 8. So I'm going to use the press pull tool, 8, and that gives me the bevel. So now comes the slightly tricky part, which is the lines going straight the way through. You can see they do go down the outside edge. So I'm going to sketch on this plane first. I'm going to create an offset, and how deep are they? They are 1mm deep. I'm going to create another blockers here. So now when I select this, it doesn't select all the way around, it just selects the bit I want. And I can now extrude this into the model by 1.5 millimeters. 1.5, minus 1.5. There we go. Now I can do exactly the same on this side, which will offset it by -1. Create another lines there to block it, and extrude this in by -1 or -1.5. Okay, let's tidy up these a little bit. Now let's mirror. That's 1, and let's go again to there. So this is the rough shape without the extra lines. What I can now do is use the rectangular pattern, set it to, I want faces, features won't work because the feature of this is only 1.5 wide. So I'm going to select faces, and I'm going to select every face apart, or every face I want to mirror apart from this center one. If I do this center one, it will extrude all the way out there, and most likely it will cut straight through this side. So select these faces. Select the axis that I want to rotate, pattern, and I want to pattern this direction, so I'm going to select any axis that travels that direction. So what's the spacing is 20 center to center. So I can do symmetric here, as I want it to extend both directions, and I want the distance to be 20. We can see 3 isn't going to cut it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. So if I swap this up to 7, perfect. And if I click OK, that should, there we go. Now I can do exactly the same for the ones going this way. Pattern, rectangular pattern. Yep, select all of the faces apart from this one, because again, if I do this, it will remove the solid body between these two faces for every single pattern I've just done. Alright, now I can select the axis. I want it to move this way, so I'm going to select any axis going this way, and we can see there are 3 different things. Symmetric, and I want the spacing. Is that on spacing? That is on spacing. I want the spacing to be 20 millimeters, which, yes, that is right. It doesn't give me a spacing for those ones, but 20 millimeters looks about right. In fact, no, it doesn't look about right. 25. There we go, that looks better. It does give me the spacing right there. I was just being really, really blind. Okay, and if I click OK, that should, there we go. We've got the ends. Now I need to make the grooves that go through here and here. I can do this very easily by sketching on this face, which will allow me to snap here. And I want that to be 3, which is the width of the groove. And then will it let me? It will let me snap down here. So I can select this length to 3, and then this one just extend, not all the way past this line, because that's where the radius starts, but just somewhere along here. Finish sketch. Now I can extrude both of these down to meet the rest of it. And that should be the finished model. Make sure no cuts on the bottom. And that looks pretty close to what the drawing is. I need to set my material to, where is it, plastic, ABS, and make sure that my density is correct, which it is not. So that should be 1.02. Apply this, and OK isn't going to work because Fusion is a bit stupid like that. So cancel, make sure it has set it 1.02, and then let's get the mass, which should be 132.811. Copy that, 132.811, submit answer, and that is right. That might have been a bit fast for a tutorial, but I think I was clear with everything. So yeah,